Okay. Start with new business. Dave Warner is,
Yep. He's in Florida and Tanya was supposed to be here, but she hurt her back.
okay.
So the park board received a $2,000 grant from the community facilities. It'll be used to pave the basketball courts this summer. Also, the South Whitley Library will be installing a new digital sign, and it'll be going to the Planning Commission March 20th for a variance. And that's what Dave wanted me to.
Doesn't it go to them first, then it comes back to us?
You get a recommendation from them.
Right. So.
Okay.
That's for the park board.
Yeah, I bet you did. Time to put my suit on.
You look good.
I'm at the bank.
Uh,
Oh, crap.
That's no big deal. That's why you make a big box.
I'll make sure to note that you were late.
Okay, yeah, take care.
Laughing like a water over here.
Thank you, I'm done with it.
So that's more sort of an FYI thing, because that hasn't gone to the plan commission.
No, March 20th.
yeah. So this thing is going to be over 6 foot tall.
I didn't really look over it too much.
That's just what.
Yeah, it does
they
appear that
emailed
way.
me.
But again, said I won't be able to see it.
6'3".
It is pretty tall. It might create an issue when you're turning left.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Who's,
Or yeah, turning left from Maple Street.
yeah.
Yeah.
The library board, I'm sorry. I got the park and the library. So the library is going for the digital sign, and then the community grant was for the park.
Couldn't sign up. I know Johnson's is out of business.
Who knows? Who's this?
For the library, the new digital sign will be installed. That'll be at the planning commission March 20th. And the park board got $2,000 from South Whitley Community Facilities. Oh, the digital sign, that I'm not sure. I don't know what company. Okay. There you go.
Bought out Johnson's. The other.
Yeah, oh, the ones about Johnson's.
They did the fire.
They're going on.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Craft sign, Gray Craft signs that were sold.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one at Johnson's, they went out of business.
Yeah, they're the ones that did ours. Okay. Go ahead.
I just want to bring up the water line replacement. Obviously, we are responsible for the curb stop 100%. Be nice to talk about having 50% of the homeowner side paid for. Some of these lines are pretty.
What's the average cost
That's what I wanted.
if you're going from the curb stop to the house?
Oh, boy.
I want to say,
Call you back.
Okay.
So Alex and I kind of talked about this. He'd called and was in a situation. So the town already pays from the curb stop to the main, correct? And so one of the ideas that I had was from the curb to the house, going halfway with the homeowner. So whatever the cost is from the curb stop to the main and the road, and then going halves with the homeowner. I don't know if you want to set a limit that we could do yearly, or just say, hey, there's got to be visible water. You can't just do it because you want to do it, but I think it's a conversation that needs to be had.
it's going to help the quality of water too. You got lines that, you got 3/4 inch lines clogged down to 1/4 inch. You got no water pressure. Every time there's any type of surge in the system, it breaks that stuff loose. I mean, it's an ongoing problem.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. We just need to sit down and make some sort of guidelines, you know, how many of those are we gonna do? I mean, how many problems like that do you see throughout town?
Probably last year did at least
Okay.
10 for the whole year.
So, you know, is there gonna be like a cap for each individual one? What are the basic guidelines? So we don't have somebody that's going, well, my pressure's a little low, I think I'll just do that.
Like on my house, we knew because there was water on the curb.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good, that way someone can't call up and say, hey, I think the problem has to be on our end first. And then if you wanna do the match.
Yeah.
Why don't we just set a cap at 10? And
10 for the year?
10 for the year, and if we need to go over that, we can revisit it at council. And set a dollar cap, so like no more than $4,000 per home. And if it's more, then we can do an executive session. Or do you wanna wait?
No, I kind of want to wait.
I just wanna get some guidelines, so I know.
Yeah,
the homeowners.
I wanna-
It's different for every house.
I want to set some guidelines first, and then we can vote on it the next meeting. But yeah, I think it's a great idea, and I'm for it. It's just I think we need that. I want to have carte blanche on what can be done. So
What other thing do you wanna visit, Randy?
I just want to have something, a policy and effect. So
Has anybody looked into the possibility of whether or not we can get any grant money, say from Okra?
Well, that's what we're doing with the, you talking about from the curb to the home?
But yeah, we have to pay for it. Town has to pay for it no matter what. If it doesn't.
I think what we don't understand is that a lot of homes, the excavator, so like Mr. Wilcoxon says to me, you're gonna do your line, right? And I didn't want to, but it really makes sense while he's there.
yeah, he's doing it.
You're just costing yourself more money to run 10 feet to 50 feet.
Well, you set a standard of, you have $600 for whether it's, that way it's fair to everybody. Everybody gets $500.
That's not a bad idea either.
You know, that way everybody gets the same, no matter if it's 1,500 or.
A large share of the cost, like in his business and my business, moving stuff.
Right.
Time and fuel, moving stuff. It's already there. Once you're digging, it's not that big of a deal to dig on farther.
Makes sense. No point replacing the section. A lot of times the curb stop in the main is 10 foot.
Mhm.
So it makes no sense to replace a 10 foot section. The rest of it's still.
Yeah.
They got a 3/4 inch line that's plugged down to 4 inch. You're not doing any good.
I agree. Let's work on putting a policy together, and then when we meet back up again in March, we'll pick up the phone.
March 14th.
Figure something out. And then, the lead line replacement. Like I got one that I gotta replace this week. It was
Mhm.
found that guy calls, I give him the water pressure, so that's not changed the meter out. I changed it, it fixed the problem, but it's like, well, I have to replace it. But we don't have the money from grant yet.
Right.
I was just kinda curious, I wanted to get a hold of.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it 100%. I think, are we able to get money back? He writes stuff about lead line replacement.
Yeah, I think so.
I just, out
Oh,
of
really?
curiosity.
Yeah, I think so.
They don't have to have their contractors doing it.
I don't know.
I doubt they have their own contractors.
Okay.
It'd be-
Have we talked to Jody recently about?
I don't know if you guys. talked
Yeah,
about
we
it.
did Thursday.
Did you Thursday?
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit. But brings up a new subject of community crossings, which we might as well talk about now. So basically there was some type of mix up with the old community crossings meeting, money, and there were five roads where money was allocated for some reason. Paving was stopped. I don't know. There's money left over for 5 streets, but they've already been paved. So Kent possibly was going to do some drainage, sewage stuff. if we don't use the money, if we use the money, it clogs up the application for the August community crossings for 2024. The 2023 application that has to be done in August kind of gets haywire if you decide to go after that leftover money that should have been used last year.
Well, projects from 2021-1, which is what our community crossings grant is from, have to be closed, well, and prior, have to be closed before we can apply for any other community
So
crossings.
the
grant.
unfortunate part is it's around $95,000. But you don't want to miss the funding for 24 in the application process.
Right.
So we probably need to make a decision. Do we want to use the money that's already allocated that has to be for those 5 specific streets,
It's only 4, actually.
4 specific streets?
But can that be
But
closed out?
it cannot,
We
it
can't have
can
it still open.
be, it can be transferred because there's money allocated for each amount or each street has a certain amount they can use. So that's how I know kind of about this is because I called the guy from NDOT and asked him if we could move money around. And he said because they're on the same purchase order, yes, but because getting all that restarted and,
Just
did
ignore all that. But
I bring my notes?
right here's the printout, Randy. If you want to look at it.
Well, he said that we're gonna be paying more for the 2 different types of asphalt because prices are down right now, and when they were bid, they were higher. It was like 80 and 71 per ton, and then now it's 70 and 56 per ton.
So basically, we need to
So
just close
it's
it out.
cheaper to get it now. So he said, I just recommend just closing it out, pay it back, and move on, because you're gonna get a better price this time.
Well, but
So
it's a double-edged sword. What if we don't
Yeah.
get the community crossings? There wouldn't be any reason we shouldn't, but for some reason last
For
time,
24?
like I'm confused why we're applying in August. What happened? Did we just miss that, or what happened?
we were
I
denied
think we
for this
missed
one.
the January or
Yeah.
because of the naming of that street.
Who's managing this application? Is it DLZ?
I mean,
Mhm.
it's very frustrating.
I think
for
you
me.
need to get somebody from DLZ.
Well, we just met with them Thursday, and then
Got a lot of questions still though.
well, basically, if we want funding for 2024, it looks like we just need to let that money go because those roads have already been pretty much paved. One of Ken's, I said repave the roads. Ken said if you repave the road, then it's not going to be ground low enough, and then there's going to be an issue with the sewer having to be. Is this jump in your youth?
I'm not too familiar with it, but I would
Okay.
say, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, put asphalt on top, it would raise the road, but then
I mean, I say $96,000 and some change, but the reality is it's the remaining for Fossler is 33,000. The remaining for Randolph is 37,000. The remaining for Front and Calhoun is 40,000, and the remaining for Line Street is 14,000. So,
could we take a walk down those roads and see what they need?
but the problem, but the thing is, you can, but if we're gonna get $1 million in 24, is it worth gumming it up for $96,000? Probably not. So we just probably need to close this out and move forward and get new funding, unless I'm off on something that I'm saying. Greg, can you help us? And reach
No,
out?
that sounds like the recommendation from NDOT, and no, there's no guarantee it's doing it again, but at the same time, it kind of sounds like we're just trying to find some way to spend the money just to spend it.
Well, and there's very specific things we can do with it. We can't do whatever we want. It has to be stuff that was already put on the purchase order that might have gotten scratched off because of budget reasons. So it has to be something that we were planning on doing but didn't get done, and now we have extra money to do it. So that was another issue is,
I think you're gonna have a real hard time
Yeah.
justifying using it.
So do we need a motion to close this out and then proceed?
I think that puts her in the best position to be able to follow up and do it that way.
I motion that we close the community crossings, $96,882.10.
I'll second that.
It's been a motion and a second to close the community crossings, 96,000, help me out,
$96,882.10 for 2000 CCMG 2021. And
okay.
definitely, hopefully, we're getting on.
Close out community crossings, 96,882.10 for 2021. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else?
Are we on public input? Yeah. Still looking for different quotes on streetlights, possibly new poles, new lighting. Trying to wrap that up, kick the can down the road to the next meeting. One of the problems is money. The other problem is, this particular quote is 23 to 25 weeks out if we were to order it today. So revisit that issue on March 14th.
You want to meet before then to discuss that?
Yeah, so when the new prices come in, we can meet.
Let me know. All right, public input. Okay.
Call me.
Chad?
Well, Chad, since you're here, when I was talking to, was it Jody? Jody from DLZ. She said, reach out to your commissioner. And I know we were kind of talking about that. Is there any traction that we could possibly work with NDOT on a sidewalk from the digital sign to Whispering? Is it
It's
Hill?
just like Jody Clements to tell you to reach out to me instead of owning it, but I think that I'm more than happy to try to pull together the players, but I think it might be worth it to reach out to Matt at Region 3A and see if maybe there are some Ogre grants or there are some other grants available to get that site.
What was that name?
Matt Brinkman, he's the director at Region 3A.
The Regional Planning and Zoning Authority. And they will do grant writing and they can.
Yeah, I mean, and they're top notch. They're really great. They're a great organization, and I think that they'd be more than happy to take this on and just see if they can find some sort of grant. I think it's a worthy cause. So
Absolutely. Because the number of kids, especially from the trailer park, you know, they get on the bus, or kids that walk from Whispering Hills, you know, into town, there's no sidewalk out there.
right.
And it's just not safe. You can't ride your bike. You
On
know.
the side of the street, we're talking Wall Street, side of the street.
Well,
Pretty
I guess
heavy.
ideally it would be on the west side, but I'm not sure. Well, I guess they could put it on the east as well. But,
Put on the west side.
yeah.
Sounds like a great idea, but when you get, you're gonna put on the west side, you get past where Tim Smith used to live.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest
Now
problems.
what?
Yeah,
Now
you're
what?
gonna have to build it up.
Well,
And it's gonna have
probably
to-
has to be like a structure with rails, some type of bridge structure or something. I would imagine it would have to be something like
Wouldn't we
that.
all say that it doesn't matter which side it is? if
Or it
someone
might,
else
maybe it
calls
would be
for it?
steps or something.
Intentional.
One other thing, we also discussed, and Alyssa, maybe you can help me out here, but you guys brainstorm on a machine that our town guys can use that will better compact the hot patch that we use, because it seems like we put hot patch down, and if Kent was here, you blow the hole out, you put the hot patch in, you kind of tamp it down or whatever, you run your truck over it. There is a proper way to do that, and there is a machine.
Like a stamper?
Vibratory compactor.
Yeah, but
Small.
there's also something that provides like a liquid that goes into the hole, so it would stick better and then properly.
Asphalt cement type thing.
Yeah, what was the name? Durapatcher? Is that
Yeah.
a Durapatcher possibly? What is that, Andy?
Are you talking about like the newer ones, like the Sprite?
I'm just talking about a machine.
Yes.
that-
It mixes like two different things and makes it,
So,
yeah.
so here's
that's
what's,
what she's
here's what's
talking about.
frustrating to me, like, I live on North Maple Street and we have potholes that are getting worse and
Really?
worse and worse, yeah,
I never noticed that.
right, and so
Jason does patch them all the time.
No, I'm not
It
saying
is
that, I'm not
true.
saying that he
Yes, I'm
doesn't,
having
it's
every
just, I think this machine would allow you to do it in the cooler months as well. I don't know.
Help with Pennsylvania, that's it.
Well, it would be something to look into, and our asphalt would stick longer.
That's what I was getting at. Jason does patch them, but like 6 months later, there's more potholes.
There's gotta be a better process than just running our trucks over this. I'm not saying he's doing that, this is kind
Are
of,
they looking into machines in different, like, spring?
is who looking into machines?
Anyone?
No, I just wanted to bring that up, but I think that'd be a good idea if we looked into.
And he does, he blows it out and then puts it in there. Then you're not struggling.
Yeah.
You almost need a compactor to actually pack it down in there. Take a snowplow over for one time and pulls all that pack right out.
I think even a plate compactor would do a better job than.
But it's just frustrating that we missed out on the community crossings. That's why I was asking the question when we met with her Thursday is, do towns pave without these grants? And it sounds like not very often. I know it's expensive, but so now if we get it in August, we're not getting any paving done in 23. I can't imagine what that road's gonna look like in summer 24. It's gonna look like a frickin' war zone. We have a lot of roads that need,
Pretty rough down by Market.
so we need to up our patch game, up our paving game. I don't know. So like I have a water line cut out in front of my house. Is it an option to, I know you said it's gonna be somewhere around $5,000 to do. You have more throughout town. Could we get a quote, and on some of those rough spots throughout town, could we do like a 50 yard section or 25-yard section?
Or like you said, get our own machine,
Get our own machine or something, so.
save the money on the boat.
Right.
Long range repair.
That's it.
Do you have anything for Kent? Michael?
I give you all 3 and Alyssa copies of the SRO comp time. All I did is I took our current policy manual and just edited the police one, added, the highlighted is all the new, it's everything we talked about last time. Greg's already okayed it, I sent it to him on the schedule, because he does have a lot of stuff in the morning and the afternoons. Everything else he seemed fine with. So you just give it to Alyssa to get it in the actual.
Anyone have a motion for that? Police compensation policy.
Make a motion to approve the police compensation.
I'll second.
It's been a motion and a second for the police compensation policy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
That is all I have.
Greg?
Gonna kind of switch to my redevelopment commission attorney hat. Like, it had been suggested, right now the redevelopment commission is, considering, having some real estate appraised. Maybe possibly be able to be used for a residential, tax incremental funding district. We are still trying to get developer and landowner together on this, but we're not sure developers that interest. The redevelopment commission just basically wanted to put itself in a position so that we could see what value is worth. They've also been advised by me that if they actually want to make an offer, the first step is to get a couple of appraisals on it. Long story short, the redevelopment commission has about $2,000 worth of increment that it can spend, which is probably going to be entirely eaten by the appraisal. On behalf of the commission, this doesn't need a formal vote. I just kind of want you to think about it. In the event that they decide to proceed with this, something that I think that they would ask that the town consider helping them with the cost of those, because I think they're either going to be very close or at zero in terms of the amount of money that they have available after that.
Why don't we just inject some money into redevelopment? It's
You are-
in its infant stage.
You are absolutely welcome to do that.
I mean, what is this, the third year for redevelopment?
Columbia City, I think, usually gives theirs, it wouldn't have to be at the same level, but a few $1,000s that they put it on as a budget item and give to redevelopment committee, the commission on tax, funds. And you can do that, that's legitimate, but I would come let you know that that's what's in the offing right now, and that it very possibly will either eat up everything or that we may be a little short, depending on what the other appraisal.
Where's that property?
You're talking about right out here?
Yeah, it's the one out, next to,
Turn right at Danny Porter's old house.
it's across from Michael,
One
across
we've
from
been
Mike's,
looking at,
Michael's
Randy,
place,
for years.
Julie Schultz, that area out there, yeah.
Off 600.
Again, I don't need action today, but Brock knows that that's what we've been talking about there. They didn't meet this last month. We plan to meet next month. We'll hope that we have more information. I expect them to probably proceed with this, but again, if they can afford it, it's gonna kind of clear them out, so.
I, think just like with the parks, I would like to spend a little money on our parks department. They're doing a great job, but I would also like to spend some money on redevelopment. So I motion that we give redevelopment $2,000.
You have it.
I mean, it's not in the budget, but
It
it
won't
wasn't
bother Doc.
budgeted for this year, but I mean, that's something we can start putting in the budget,
It
and
won't
yes,
bother
we would be able to.
Second.
The motion is seconded to approve $2,000 for redevelopment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
All I hear.
Okay, Melissa?
Oh, I finished the, annual report this week. I emailed it to Jen Pryor at the newspaper. It should be going out, is that going out this week? Jen? Oh, okay, well, I'll email it to you again. Brock hasn't been getting my emails either,
Yeah.
so,
Then it ain't going out tomorrow.
yeah, so,
Tomorrow's the deadline. For the report,
oh, for the newspaper?
The report. No,
Oh, yeah,
no.
for the newspaper.
for the email report.
Yep, so that was,
All right.
Up.
Nope, I know.
We need to visit the Whitley County Humane Shelter issue.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you get that email?
I did.
All right.
I don't need to check.
How's that going?
Well, I sent her an email, told her I was gonna meet with her, but I wanted to see what your thoughts were, all of you
So-
in general.
What kind of money?
Why don't you explain, for Randy, did you explain the email, or would you like to read the
I'll just
email?
read the email.
I mean,
Probably.
I'm gonna read it all word for word.
Let me go.
Oh, Randy's the only one that has
yeah,
Who's on top?
yeah, they were in my folder.
Okay, just getting in touch with you about the contract with the shelter. I know I had spoken to Officer Van Deventer late last year and knew there were going to be some questions, so wanted to clear some things up and hopefully come to an agreement. I've been talking with Alyssa over the past week or so, but I feel she is possibly projecting her own feelings into the situation and not presenting accurate facts concerning the shelter and the contract question. The contract for all municipalities, including South Whitley, is to help offset the cost of stray animals brought in, to do the right thing by the animal. Below are the past year's contract amounts. 2018, 37 animals, $3,000. 2019, 56 animals, $4,000. 2020, 31 animals, $3,000. 2021, 38 animals, $4,000. 2022, 58 animals, $5,000. The contract is capped at the listed amount, so you're only paying for the number of animals we actually receive, not the predicted amount. For example, we actually receive, not the predicted amount. For example, the contract is capped at 5,000, but we only take in 20 animals. 20 times 108 would be $2,160 for the year. If the $5,000 cap is reached at roughly 46 animals, but we take in 60 animals in the year, we eat those costs because your contract is only 5,000. To address some of the concerns, number one being that the public is lying to us. They found a stray animal, but it is actually their own animal. We have policies and procedures in place for animals that their officers drop off, which is not the case. All contracts are structured exactly the same for each municipality. The amount is different based on the size and the number of animals. Larwell does pay significantly less than the others pay, but haven't brought in more than 10 animals a year since 2018. I know Officer Van Dievener had a specific incident in question in the third quarter where there was 8 animals retrieved. My concern with the proposal that we made, cutting them out more than half of the years past, as well as only animals brought in by the officers, would leave us with little to no support for the remaining animals. So basically, it's about
I
it.
guess I'm just confused though, why we're paying 5,000. I get it, we're capping 5,000, so if we have 100 animals, they eat the cost, but
Well, I spoke with Madeline the other day. They are capped at $1,000. The Columbia City is capped at $25,000.
25,000?
They pay $12,500 twice a year.
I had an issue. And when I talked to her on the third, my issue was that list of cats that we got, that I talked to her about, came from what used to be Myers Deli, which is in the county.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But the person that's in town put them up there. So the town paid for county cats. That's my issue.
Okay.
And from what I'm hearing, that's happening a lot, because the other ones are supposed to be coming.
And I
in
asked
there.
Madeline, I said, do just the officers take them in? She says, no, anybody can take them up. And I was talking to Walt Crowder, anybody can do that in the city. But I just feel that $5,000 is a little excessive.
Why can't we be the same as Western?
Yeah.
And she can do what she wants.
So does it come out, did it say it's 108 per animal?
108,
Roughly,
but they
average.
put a cap every year, so
Could be more or less.
if they get more animals, then they eat the cost. If they get less, then
So if we decide to do 2,500, are they going to deny us service, or do we have an answer as to why bus goes at 2,000? And
I don't know. That's why I want to talk to her this week. So either this week or
Yeah,
next week.
and I thought they had solved this before, but before, and
Yeah, one time.
this is consistent with the concern that the marshal is expressing. They used to do this based on zip code. I think they've gotten it through their head that zip code for South Whitley goes up to Tunker, okay? So that's not the way to do it. So they need to determine it by a street. And I think they're doing that, but apparently they're doing it where the person who lives as opposed to where the animal was removed. Even subtracting those 8 out, do we normally take a stray every week? Like, I mean, this 50 sounds like a
Do
lot.
you remember what we looked at, what, like 13 for the year? Police department picked up.
The police department took in 13 or 14
Well-
for 2022.
I'm gonna inject myself here a little bit, and I'm really not blaming, I have a really good idea who it is, but I'm asking this council, do we want employees, full-time or part-time employees, raising cats on town grounds? Or housing cats on town grounds? I
Police
just,
department votes no, I'm looking on public for that.
I just think it's a bunch of BS. We got, right out back here, we got somebody that didn't approve it, and they're feeding kitty cats out of a tub back here.
Is it still back there?
As of 5 days ago, it was. You know, I just, we're trying to get rid of the problem.
She's been talking.
I don't think so.
It's unfortunate, because they're trying to do the right thing, to have an abundance of stray cats in this town. At some point, it's just gonna get out of control, and kind of gotta eliminate the problem more than just. That's my opinion on it. Like, especially out by Myers Deli, there's a lot of cats. You just keep getting more and more and more.
There's always open season.
And they're doing the right thing, they're saying neutering them, but you can't do all of them, you have to catch every one of them.
Previous managerial
How many
staff,
animals?
is up to Myers Deli, fed them on a regular basis.
Do you wanna answer, do you wanna respond to
Yeah,
that?
they pull herd of them out
Your me-
Like I said, when she started that, kind of. That didn't go settle well.
I didn't think. That's all right.
Do we have any way to audit what animals they are bringing? Do they provide us with a list of?
Yeah,
They do.
they do.
Okay.
That's how I know that 13 of the cats or animals that were dropped off.
Isn't the
Or
population of
officers.
Cherubusco slightly more than South Whitley?
Population's about the same.
Yeah, so-
So, I mean, it's very,
I don't know why the town would be responsible for anything other than what the officers drop off. That's the only verifiable stray there is.
I mean, I understand,
Otherwise, it's any Tom, Dick, or Harry decides their cat had kittens and dump them off in the town
Right.
pays for it.
I understand the community coming together to keep them afloat. I understand that. It's just, I mean, Columbia City's huge, so they seem to be paying their fair share and we're paying a lot compared to Cherubusco, so I'm just confused. The 5,000 makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Busco.
I do. I don't have a problem with paying our fair share, I'm just really concerned. Like I started to say, not only are they coming from Myers, but some others came from the trailer quarter section of County 500 South.
Okay.
These are not in-town cats. And the other part is, police department don't transport cats, period. We're gonna go up to state statute, there's no right. So we're getting totally hammered on cat fees, but a lot of them aren't even from the town. As far as people want to take their cat that's in their backyard and scream at 2 o'clock in the morning to other, don't blame them one bit. I just got a problem paying the county. That's all it comes down to.
So if you brought the cats in and you said, I found these cats in Tunker, do they charge me if I would take those in if I were bringing them in from Tunker, or does the county have a similar arrangement?
If they told them came from Hunter, because when I met with Abby, she was clear on that. The biggest problem we have is people don't tell them that. All they're doing is just saying, here's my address.
Yeah, and it says
their
South
address
So
Whitley.
they
is
just
in town,
assume.
and we're getting the.
And that's going back down to that zip code thing, which I thought they had Google and,
Well, they're not telling them we
Beacon.
actually got them, they're just telling them, this is my address.
oh,
That's part, well, all of that would be on the person who lived in the cat's fault.
So
So I've got a problem with this painful.
I'm-
This is not.
I'm confused. So our police officers are not transporting cats.
I don't know of any law enforcement agency of transport.
So if we didn't transport, why did we get charged for the 8 cats and the meth house?
Because the public is taking the cats out. It's saying, I live in South Whitley.
She's saying they're not.
Oh, well, actually, it says on the one list, that list I had, it shows on there, we transport them, it's not the police department.
It tells you exactly who dropped the animal off.
Not names, but it gives addresses.
A lot of them say that. Like, do we have
Sometimes,
do we have
yes.
a problem with the same person taking, or is this?
I don't know, I'd have
Just
to
a
look
weird
closer, but
situation
there
there.
were a couple of repeating ones, yes.
We have a cat hunter.
We have animal-friendly people, which like I said, it's animal. That's my whole problem.
Brock, you had asked a question before, which is, if we offer to give them $2,500, can we do that? And yeah,
Because I think, I don't know the whole system up there. I know they have a lot of volunteers that walk animals. I think it's great. It's just, why are we being soaked with $5 grand? Well,
Well, I have a question. how was it originally funded anyway?
Well, I think that's what she's probably, honestly, I think she's just fighting for the funding. I think that's probably.
If it's funded, you know,
maybe
if
Chad.
it's not funded,
County
It's not-
pays
it's not-
25,000. Up until, 2020, it was 20,000, and then it was increased by 5,000. We get the same report that I think Alyssa's referring to, where addresses, not names, of who's dropped off, what type of animal.
But it's a not-for-profit. It is a not-for-profit. I gave him $200 out of my pocket.
So we're
last
paying-
year. So
We're
it's,
paying a fee so the citizens can take animals up there, is that correct?
that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like.
yeah, but there's no controls on that. There has to be some kind of checks and balances or.
Well, if it's a flat fee though, I mean,
I think it would be reasonable to ask them to verify residency of the town of South Whitley, or find out if they're residents of the county. Either way, we're both paying, so they're gonna take the animal. Obviously, our contractual amounts are not to exceed, so like I said, they absorb any overages, so I would just approach them and say, verify that South Whitley
Well,
residents.
and honestly, a lot of people don't know where they live. You know, we take calls, for, say, lockouts in Cherubusco. Where do you live? Oh, I live in Cherubusco. Well, in actual, they live in Allen County. But they're so close, they just call it Cherubusco because they have a Cherubusco address. And I think a lot of people, you know, they live outside of town. I live in South Whitley.
South Whitley addresses go halfway to Manchester.
Yeah.
Literally.
So,
If the shelter was then taking the address and validating. the people maps, you can tell if it's actual South Whitley proper, or if it's just someone with a South Whitley address. who
Right.
lives
The one that we dealt with
somewhere
last
else.
year. Let's
You
interrupt.
just
The one we dealt with last
You
year.
just gotta work a little bit harder. to
The
do it.
problem is the person was giving them the address where they live, not where they got the animal.
oh, okay.
And a lot of people don't realize Myers Deli's in the county,
Mhm.
and they got a lot of cats.
Yes, they do. And I think they're a drop-off point also.
I honestly wonder that sometimes.
It's an easy place to pull off at night, kick them to the curb, you know?
You ever been out there?
Occasionally.
There's cats.
Well, perhaps,
I
maybe
come
this
by
is,
there at all hours.
maybe this is
Yes.
something we should look at as, do we need to have maybe a joint project with the Humane Shelter, and have a cat roundup or something? If they can get some volunteers out here, they do that if they are in fact in that kind of a horde, because it sounds to me like the basic problem behind a lot of this, especially given what I'm hearing from Melissa, is that we clearly have a feral cat issue. And maybe doing it on an ad hoc basis isn't the way to approach it.
There was a lady in town that was rounding them up on her own time,
Yeah.
taking them up to Fort Wayne
Mhm.
and having them spayed or neutered, but with one cat every week, and you're having 50 cats, you're never getting ahead of the problem.
Because the problem may just be that we just have a bigger feral cat problem, if a lot of these are cats.
you can't feed cats at the utility office. You can't. It's just contributing to the problem. So if you already have 4 cats at your house, don't bring them over here.
Going with what Mr. Hockenmeyer said, what if the councils would have a meeting and create some sort of a protocol or policy for the humane shelter, so it would be a little more fair to the town of South Whitley, or, you know, or some kind of checks and balances there. So we don't just have Joe Blow taking up 30 cats and now town has to pay for it.
I don't mind paying for the right for the citizens to take, as long as we're paying our fair share and not paying
Well,
more.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
5,000 is what, $2.50 for like every resident
Yeah.
a year?
I definitely don't think we should pay over double what let's go. That's,
Okay. Well, I'll meet with her next week or later this week, and
You don't want a motion on amount now, you wanna meet with them first?
I'll meet with her first. I just trying to get an idea.
Alrighty.
We'll bargain from there.
I think the cat
The
roundup.
cat roundup.
Wanna do
is-
cat,
The
cat
year-
patrol?
The year that we had 56, I was gonna say on that, Greg, we did do that.
Okay,
She come and set quite a few traps back around Ag Plus Buffalo Street. We're getting a lot of complaints. That is where a lot of those came from, was cat roundup.
because I mean, we do have we do have place where rodents are gonna be. When you have rodents, oftentimes you're gonna have feral cats.
Always Tootsie Rolls.
Should we put you down for chairing the roundup?
Sharing the cat roundup.
Good find, Alyssa, good find.
I would be glad, I would assist, like I said, I think I have a lot of respect for the folks that are doing that job, because I don't wanna do it. Humane Society, I think more power to them.
Mhm.
If I need a pet sometime, I will go up there.
All right. Okay, we'll entertain a motion to accept claims $315,615.65.
I motion we accept the $315,000.
Is this the one that?
I'll second that.
Oh, that's
It's been a motion and a second to approve claims $315,615.65. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion carried. Entertain a motion to approve minutes for February 14th.
So moved.
And a motion and a second to approve minutes for February 14th, 2023. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried.
So the next one has a slight explanation. We used to do, when we did our bank reconcile, at the end of the month, we only had one bank account, so we had to do some finagling with our Bank of New York stuff. Well, for some guidance, I have separated those now, so now we have three. Two
Okay.
is the sewage, Bank of New York, the water, or wastewater, water, and then the crossroads. You
Okay.
wanna look at those?
We'll make these all in one motion. Entertain a motion for the reconciliation, reconciliation deposit statement for January for Crossroads Bank, the water and sewer, and the Bank of New York.
So moved.
It's been a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Okay. Next we have payroll week ending February 20th, $9,379.51.
So
Seek a
moved.
motion. There's a motion and a second to approve payroll week ending February 20th, $9,379.51. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Okay. 27th?
Yep.
Entertain a motion to approve payroll week ending February 27th, $10,571.63.
So moved. Second.
Been a motion and a second to approve payroll week ending February 27th, 571.63. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried.
I think you meant to. This way, hair in my chin. My cat hair.
Sounds like you got funny cats.
Hair.
Okay, anything else needs to come up before the board?
Sorry, I missed a couple of them, but, so the other day Courtney took Lydia down to Hagen Park. And just letting her walk around
Mhm.
because it was nice. And a big German Shepherd comes charging at them. Courtney picks up Lydia, turns her back to the dog. And so Courtney constantly scared because this dog came at them. And the lady came to get her dog and Courtney dog on a leash, but not so nice. I get home and Courtney's got paw prints this big all up and down the back. So this dog obviously needs to be on a leash. So I called Michael, we talked about a leash. You know, is there an ordinance here in town? Or, you know, what? I think we need some signage at the park that people, just because it's Hagen Park and there's no playground equipment, you can't take your dog down there and just let him
Let it
run.
run, yeah.
There's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
I see it all the time, they let their dogs run the trail. I know that is not a problem.
You know, Lydia's 20 months old and here comes this shepherd charging at her.
We do need to get that in control. We're gonna have some serious issues with that.
I
think
thought
we
there
got-
was a park rule on that.
Well, we got an ordinance, I think, pretty sure about leashes.
It does say leashes. Ordinances, you have to be in control of your dog, I think, state law. We didn't do the true tie out because then you're gonna, people like to be violated because that fence. But you have to be in control of the fence at all times, of the dog at all times. But I thought the park rule, I don't have a copy of, I don't know if they weren't a copy of them. I thought the parks actually said it had to be on a leash.
What about it has to be on a leash if
I don't know. if
other people are present?
You know, I keep thinking, my dog will pull out a German Shepherd, the dog comes in, it's not gonna be great.
But we must do that years ago.
Park ordinances and that, I don't remember.
No, I don't think they are. There are separate park rules.
Oh, they're not? There's
No,
no-
no, no.
I couldn't find them.
And Michael, I think I have them because I think they did them when Teresa was on the board and I think they came up with a little stack of them and I think I have some. So I can get those to you. I think that we have those.
What about some,
I don't know offhand if they call for a leash. I'll bet they do though.
what about some signage back there that says you are responsible for your
Well,
dog?
We could do that, but if we actually have rules that say they're supposed to be on a leash, we could actually just post the signs that say the dogs have to be.
I'm all for signage, but I want it to be enforceable.
Michael, I'll look that up and get those.
Thanks.
One last thing. I'm sure we'll have to separate. I got a quote on getting the water tower clean. They go in and the whole inside of it, suck everything out of it.
On the one,
Need a
That'll
mo-
be getting done in about April.
you need a motion on that?
no,
To have the water tower clean?
Yeah,
No.
you haven't already authorized.
for the 2,700?
I motion that we allow Alex to clean the water tower. Or do we wanna do it for 2,700 or say anything under 3,500 bucks or?
That's under 3,000.
Because I'm gonna have them change the light bulb too. So that'll be on.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to authorize cleaning of the water tower on the east side with a cap of $3,000. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Okay. And we'll look into the park board thing. See if we can get some answers there. Okay. All right, anyone else? Anything? Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion we adjourn.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Or-